What's up, guys? I'm here with another video, and sorry it's a day late. I told you guys that I was gonna put it up Saturday, which was yesterday, but I got occupied and busy, and I just didn't have time. And by the time I did get home, it was really late. So I just figured I would do it today when I had the time, which is kind of late still, but hey, I'm not gonna, you know, whatever. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that's watched my videos, like I do all the time, and I hope everyone's had a good spring break, and that y'all had a blessed Easter. Um, but the subject I want to talk about today, which most of you know, because I posted a status on it, was about drug and alcohol abuse and how it affects others. Um, like everyone knows somebody that does either drugs or alcohol to an extent where you don't want to be around them when they're doing such things. I mean, you don't want to be like, some people don't want to be around like drugs anyways. Like, I've done drugs in my life. It's not worth it. I've drank a lot of alcohol in my life. Not worth it. It's better to be clean than go through all that. But then again, there's some people that they feel forced to do it to get away from everything. Like, it's their way to get away from all the problems they have. Some kids do it because they get to the extent of, like, where they're bullied, or people just kind of pick on them or like cast them out, where they just like want to do drugs because they're just like, F it, man, I don't even care anymore. He's like, so I'm just gonna do this drug and or drink all this and party, or some kids are like, hey man, we're gonna go party, and he's like, you're not cool if you don't drink with us, like 14. What? I mean, it's not worth it, because some people's addiction can ruin somebody's life, just like bullying can ruin everybody's life. To me, doing drugs and alcohol, it's not the right choice. It's a bad choice in life. But I've been there, so I can't be a hypocrite. Like, I used to love to do it. Like, not to a certain extent. Like, yeah, I would drink, and then I would get high with my sister or my brother or something like that. But then something happened. Something happened, and it changed my life forever. And then I was like, I'm tired of this. And then I got right with I started getting right with God and getting my life in check, and just coming back, just like rebounding off of every bad thing that happened to me. And that's another thing I want to talk about during this, because people do things while they're high or messed up or drunk out of their mind, and like some people get raped, or other things that people can't explain, and people hold that for the rest of their life. And I'm here to tell you guys, I'm not saying accept what happened to you, but I'm saying forgive everybody that's ever done anything bad to you, whether they were on drugs, whether they were drunk, whether they knew what they were doing. Forgive them people. Some of you have heard me say this before. Everything that's bad that's happened to me from somebody else, like causing it, I've forgiven them. Somebody insults me, I'm like, thank you, I forgive you. They don't even know what I'm talking about, and they're like, what? And, they just walk away. It's because when the time comes, I don't want to be held accountable for anything. I forgave that person. I don't hold grudges, because probably deep down that person didn't mean to. If somebody did something to you while they were drunk or high, it's not only them. I mean, it's the drug and the alcohol. It's like the brain is, they can't think straight. but it's still no excuse. You should know to not be around those type of people. If you're there to be a designated driver to your friends, all righteousness to you, man. Because you're there to have a good time and then make sure your friends are safe. But still, I'm not saying I would hang out with people that just go and get drunk and I'd be the designated driver. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, if that is your situation, and those are your friends you trust with your life and everything like that, and you know the friends you grew up with, yada yada yada, this that, then righteousness to you, man. Congrats on not doing that stuff. Like, don't be influenced by it because it can ruin your life. A song that I think I shared it to my profile called "Other Side" by Macklemore, but most of you know Macklemore by his song "Thrift Shop." But Other Side, it describes how drugs and stuff have ruined people's lives. Like, he talks about, and there's an interview on YouTube that you guys should look up, that he used to be on all these drugs and everything. You know, he was raised in Seattle, and he couldn't do anything while he was messed up. Like, he couldn't write music, he couldn't do anything. He was like that for 5 years until he finally stopped in 2008. And now we're listening to him on the radio and something like that. You know, it's just amazing how you can rebound off of something and you can learn from it, and then you want to help somebody. Because there's people out there that they feel that that's their only way out, like I said before, and it leads to terrible things. Because it leads to you growing up and to be an abusive father that drinks, and you can say to yourself right now, like, no, yeah, I drink, but I'm not gonna grow up to do that. Do you think any real father actually does grow up to say, I'm not gonna be a drunk dad that's gonna beat my kids and my wife? Do you really think they grow up like that? I don't think so. You know, when they're high, when like, do you want to be one of those parents that grow up high and something happens to the kids and you're just like sitting there, just like out of the spaced out, like you don't know what the is going on, man. Your actions can have major consequences in someone's life, good or bad. But if your actions are doing drugs and alcohol, I don't see the upside of that, like it being good on somebody. I mean, besides the fact of people learning from you to not be like you. And that's not something I would say is a good thing either. I mean, it's a good thing for people to learn that, but it's not a good thing for you. I just want to tell you guys, if you're in that slump where like you're doing drugs just to have fun with your friends, get new friends, man. Those are not your friends if they're letting you do that, man. I'm not speaking as a religious person. I'm not speaking as a kid, like I'm a goody-goody. I'm just speaking from experience. Find new friends, man. Don't do drugs. Don't do alcohol. And people doing drugs and alcohol, like, I know a bunch of people that have committed suicide because, you know, drunk driving. Oh, they didn't commit suicide. They died, like in a car crash. This guy was on a motorcycle. He was high and he couldn't stop in time because when you get high, your reaction time slows so much, and he couldn't stop, and the truck hit him. There's nothing in this world worth dying for, especially alcohol and drugs. If you say, man, I do that because what about all the rappers that are successful, you know, doing all that junk? Okay, good point. Look at all the rappers that went into prison and stuff for that. They got out, they rapped about it, and some went back. Some rock people, like some band members are like that. Like the Falling in Reverse lead singer, he went for heroin or meth, something like that, and he went back. Hey, yeah. Drugs and alcohol ruin people's lives. They do. And people abuse them all the time just to get away. And I mean, if your life is so terrible that you have to do that, reach out, man. Reach out. Find new friends, dude. Find somebody. There's somebody around you that wants to talk to you, man. Because we've already lost too many people like that. Do you want to be the next one? Do you think somebody wants to... Do you think... Okay, let me talk to you like this. When you were 6 years old, you know, you were understanding, like you start to understand things. You know, you wanted to be a police officer, okay? Probably, whatever. Get a little bit older, about 8 years old. You understand a lot more. Anytime from like 6 to about 10 years old, did you expect ever to be doing drugs as a teenager? Ever? Drinking alcohol ever? You're like, hey, I want to be like that guy and get drunk and high and be successful in life because that's what happens when you do it. No, it's not. You didn't do that. If you did, I'm sorry. But you're not going on the right path. Anyways. What I'm trying to say is, everyone grows up saying they're not going to be that guy that does that. They're not going to be that abusive father. They're not going to be that guy that drives while drunk and crashes and for his friends that are in the car die. You don't even know that because you don't know the future. You don't know what you're going to do unless the occurrence of that event happens. What if you were the only survivor of that crash when you were drunk and you were the one driving? All 4 people in the car died but you. How would you feel? How would you feel if one night you were drunk and you beat your son to death and you didn't realize because you were drunk? Or, you know, you shot somebody out of random because you were high and drunk or something like that. Think about the consequences. If people don't even think about it, like, no, that could never happen to me. Do you think most people in prison that accidentally killed somebody, or you know, people that lived through the car crashes, do you think they thought that it could ever happen to them? I don't think so. So drug and alcohol abuse is happening every day, but we can stop it. It just takes a few minutes to say no. Well, it takes 1 second to say no. No. It's one syllable word. Yes. No. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Just say no. Somebody's like, hey man, you wanna hit this? Nah man, I ain't with that. No. I'm not saying you have to walk away from that group. I'm saying watch, you know, because it's not always going to be a good thing. Almost none of the people. I mean, you can't name one person that's really like better off on drugs and stuff. I mean, you know, like old people, or you know, besides cancer, you know, they have to have chemo and all this. Whatever. You know what I mean. If you can relate to losing someone to a drunken car crash, a drunk driver hitting one of your sober friends that didn't need to die, one of your family members that died from getting in a car crash, and the person that survived was in the other car and they were drunk. How many times does that happen? Do you think that person just drinks, oh, I'm just gonna randomly, you know, take one drink while I'm driving and I'm just gonna go drive down the road to, you know, this place, and ends up crashing? No, that doesn't happen. Those people are drunks. Like, they drink all the time. Don't be like them. But God first, God bless. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this is so long. And like, share, comment, peace.